Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We've just been chest collecting in 5ER, and last time we were using Rifle Zooks, Kavan, but now we're switching things up a bit, using RCs on spread bases and Grens and compacts. Just trying to save enough keys so we can go 6ER and get some HCs. So let's show a few hits. So here we got a match, looks like a compact base with a shock blaster, and we're for sure going to take at least a few Grens on it. Because if you try RCs, the rifles die real fast and usually there isn't enough firepower for the end. And just deciding whether to go left or right. I think in this case, shock blaster is behind that ER, so if we angle from the left, you can get some good damage on it. And usually bringing 2 or 3 rifles, because when you have Kavan, you can always have more rifles on the back end. Seeing that sniper tower range, because that's really a big threat to Grens. Sure, there's mortars, boom cannons, but snipers can pick them off too. Maybe even faster since I think they 2 or 3 shot them. But right now I can drop a couple Grens just for that flame since they outrange it, and waiting a bit for the other troops. Grens are slower than rifles, so make sure you don't drop them too early. And we want the rifles mainly to go to that sniper, so we'll do a reflare. And when the flare is done, we can drop the other boat. Kavan should go last because if you drop him too early, he likes going up in front and maybe getting shot by something. So we'll wait just a bit longer, then drop him. And letting the rifles catch up with another flare, we want a better angle on that shock blaster. So we'll go a bit to the left. And he already retreated, so just have to get a few ERs. But still gonna try to full clear the base. Need to collect our chests. And as the other rifles are almost dead, can do a second wind. Here we do another reflare. It's the only ability we have other than second wind, but it's just to get a better angle on the Grens. So now we get that down, boom cannons next. And as that goes down, we can do another flare. See, we only used I think 3 second winds, so don't have that much GP. Even though we don't have a lot of rifles, it's not a big deal. Because we have so many Grens, you can often flare close to buildings and do some more damage. Here we'll just direct target that boom cannon, and then flare a bit closer. Closer they are, they do more damage. And once they kill that boom cannon and mortar, I think we're good. Other defenses are behind ER, so nothing's gonna shoot the Grens. And most of these Gren hits do take a long time, but it's in the point of 5ER that it's easy to mess up on. They don't have shocks or critters, so it's either really long hits or often a fizzle. Sure, some people can get things like troop health and art, but I think a lot are trying to save to 6ER. Because for the long term, it's getting HC sooner. We still might go troop health and art on one account, just to have a little easier time at 5ER. And some people, if they want to rank up, it might be good to get that. Really depends on what your preference is. Do you want to do more short-term gains or long-term? So real slow 104, but still a win. And we'll check out the next one. So here, another compact. Looks even worse with boom mines and that Simo. So we might go from, I think the right side. It's a little closer to that shock blaster. And that first mortar is annoying because it's gonna take a few rifles. So I might bring 1 RC on this hit. Even if it's just for that mortar, could do a little more damage and keep a bunch of rifles alive. And watching that shock blaster range. And just dropping that only to get those 2 buildings. It is gonna take time, but again, we have a dirty base too. Almost relying on a slow hit or a fizzle, but it's the way it is sometimes. So sending 1 flare, make the RC go to that mortar only. And now dropping the rifles. Could have dropped it even earlier, because now I think the RC might die to that cannon. So we'll try a reflare, get the rifles that are already walking there in front. and it still might be close. See what the cannon shoots. But we got a bit lucky, hit the rifle. And I think the other boat rifles was also too late. Because now these ones are going to die and that shock blaster might kill the RC. But still might be fine, we have a good few second wins. And I think the Grens shoot that shock blaster across the gap. And from a base design, maybe he could have put that Simo a bit further left or right, because it's pretty much going to die when that shock blaster does. And we do more second wins, so most of the deadly buildings for Grens are down now. That boom cannon on the left to worry about, so we might just flare close and get that down. And got plenty of rifles too. Even a few Zooks from the RC dying helped out. We're also close to ER, so Grens do a bit more damage. And looks like we'll finish the base. Yet again, still a slow hit, but sometimes the meta is like that. I think bullet also works for these kind of hits. You just have to take maybe a couple of meat shields like rifles or scorchers, and use bullet drink to keep the meat shield alive. Here we'll kill a few more buildings, and then we don't have much to worry about. Just maybe getting a good angle on the ERs. And when that ER goes down, then we'll flare close for the last one. Even saw a few people with mechs earlier, and it makes sense. If you don't have normal shock bombs, you got a troop that can shock stuff. But it's a long game that matters, so we'll keep moving forward. And we'll check out one more hit. Here we got spread out base. And most spreads we like taking mainly RCs. I think the hardest part of spread out bases is you can use rifles for the beginning, but they're really slower than RC, so when you move to the back end, they can lag behind. So we could maybe start from the left and go around the base. 2 rifles is what you usually take, and maybe we can even split some rifles here, from that boom cannon on the right and cannon on the left. We'll drop a couple rifles, then send a flare. I think it still took 2 flare on this account, so might need 1 more. A couple by accident, but I think we get a good split. And when you do split flares around gaps, it's not between the actual buildings, it's imagining how long it is around the gap. So the path to the BC is longer than it actually looks like. I got plenty of rifles and don't have to worry about RCs. We're saving Kavan for the right side, so once these ERs go down we can flare right. So we'll flare that ER, drop Kavan, and that second wind just has rifles right there. So it should be enough to distract that BC, maybe that cannon. Kavan moves left to heal the other rifles, but there's a few alive on the right side. Can flare that cannon to kill it faster. It might be good we have a bunch of rifles on the left, since now we're going to flare on the top side, and I think the rifles are still enough to distract that shock blaster. Send 1 more flare. The flare is going to expire, so rifles are right there in front. Might do 1 more second wind when that ER dies. And flares are expensive now, so just save enough for 1 more. We have 6 RCs left, so we can just go for it once the shock blaster is down. Even if we might lose 1 or 2, should kill the ER. Got lucky with a boom cannon shot, and looks like only lost a couple RCs. Get a 211. Most spreads are around 150, 2 minutes, so this is a bit faster. And we'll see what time he got. And it looks like a win, close one. And that's gonna be our chest collected. So again, we're saving until 6 ER now. We could spend keys on other stuff, but ranking up isn't a big priority right now. I still have a few more days till Legend opens and can decide from there. But I think for sure the next path is opening 6 ER and going to HCs. I think 6 ER is a better deck, but might not actually push until we get them. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.